Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today I want to show you something that I picked up today that I'm pretty excited to see how well it works. This is a Milwaukee Rover, as it's called, a compact folding floodlight with USB charger. So what I liked about this is that it mounts right on the top of the battery. So I bought their inverter not too long ago, and you can check the video description to have a review video on this showing what it will power and the things that it won't. But this is pretty cool and I've enjoyed it. It has USB charging on it and again just jumps right on the top of the battery. So I really liked how this works. One of my other favorite tools that I honestly use all the time is this headlamp. You can see it gets pretty dirty. This has come in handy so much. I really love these. I got one for Justin SVT as well, and he uses it all the time too. So I was curious to see how good this one is. So based off of a 5 amp hour battery, it says it will do 1,000 lumens on high for 12 hours. On medium, it'll do 500 lumens, that's the brightness, for 22 hours. The low will be 250 lumens brightness for 42 hours. And then if you're on the ultra low, it'll do 85 lumens, 110 hours. And again, that's with a 5 amp hour battery. And here's the model number if you didn't catch that earlier, 2359-20. So my main reason for wanting to get this is a lot of the work I do. As an example, when we put the T56 Magnum into the Cobra, we're under the car and light doesn't shine from the roof upwards, it shines down. So this is something I figured, this would be good to put on the ground and move around and have it be stable rather than on a tripod. So alternatively, I do have some flood work lights here. The problem with these is they kind of do one beam instead of a wide area. And they work, they can be helpful. This one, the floodlight, is old for super bright, which is really cool, but it's just a little bit too bright. It does have a lower setting. But sometimes you can angle some of these a little bit, but I really liked the headlamp because it just does a really wide brightness. So check the video description for my review on that as well if you're interested in seeing that. It said it also comes with this rafter hook is what it's called, and so it'll hang on things, a belt loop, or if you need to hang it from somewhere, that's kind of how that's designed. So that's pretty handy to have on there. I'm glad that they included something to do with that. So we're gonna go ahead and open it up and we'll see if it's any good. I have some pretty high hopes with it, and we'll show you a few examples. Okay, so it can go horizontal and vertical. It has the integrated rafter hook, and it'll do USB-A, USB-C charging. So that's on the front there. As well, they claim impact resistant. We don't want to test that one unless we have to. And water and dust resistant. So this is the M18 batteries. And so we'll give this one a shot. Okay, here it is out of the package. Got your buttons here on the front, charging here. Usually when you push that button, that's how it will turn it on for that. So there's the USB-C and then the USB-A. We'll give those a try. So this is kind of a slow motion, constant motion one. So that's nice, rather than just a click where you're kind of stuck with a position. So it'll do that. And then it'll pivot this way. So that's actually quite nice. It stops when you turn it all the way one way. It stops when it goes that way. Okay, so you do have some adjustability here. All right, let's give this thing a try. We're gonna aim it kind of that way, so we're not really looking at it. Okay, oh, that's nice. And then these are the settings. Okay, so I'm gonna hide behind the camera so I don't get blinded here. There we go. So there's kind of what it looks like there. So these are some pretty bright LEDs. Okay, so the first place that I wanted to try this out, of course, is under the car. So that looks pretty good. I think that lights things up really nice. Okay, so here's another kind of view with this thing on. See if I can zoom out a little bit. That seems to do a really good job to light this up. This is in the garage with no other lights on right now. Okay, so here's the brightest setting, and we'll go down. So that one you could still work on pretty well. Down here, I don't know that I'd really work with that setting on. And here's the lowest, I believe. And then back to the brightest. So this would be useful maybe if you're like in a tent camping. If you went down to that lowest setting, then you'd be fine. Inside of a garage or something like this, you can see. So if it was an emergency and you needed to use it for an extended period of time, then the lowest setting still is useful. But I definitely like that brightest one. I think that's what I'd be aiming for if I was doing some long-term work on here, like changing the supercharger or something, that I really want to see what I'm doing. So here's the brightest setting. Lower, lower, lowest. I mean, still useful. If you had to use that with the power off for a long while, then you could, but at least they do give you those settings if you want to use them. Okay, so this is with the Milwaukee headlamp. You can see how well that one works. I really like that one too, and it does a really good job. So I'll show you that compared to, we'll turn on the floodlight now. See, it's brings in a little bit more brightness. So here's with just the floodlight. And here's its settings. So there's the brightness there. And we'll turn the headlamp back on. And turn this one off. You can kind of see the difference. So, I mean, they're both really good lights. What I like about this too is that it doesn't just fold upwards. So this light, turn it on here. What I like is that it also folds kind of downward. So you can aim it at things that are up high or down a little bit lower. So that's pretty handy. And then the twisting side to side. Okay, here's the Milwaukee headlamp again. We'll turn on the floodlight. See, that did make quite a difference. Turn off the headlamp there. So that is pretty good. I'm still just really impressed with even the headlight for being smaller for what it does. Turn the headlight back on. And then the floodlight off. So you can definitely see that difference there, on and off. With this is the flood lamp. Okay, so we'll turn off the headlamp. Now, alternatively, here's a huge spotlight, and it's bright. I really like it, but see how the beam is so concentrated? It makes it really hard when you're trying to work on something and you get too much light. So you have to either shine it like up at the hood or something. It doesn't work quite as well. And you notice that this can adjust upward, but it really can't adjust downward. It only goes to its down position, so you're angling it on a cart or something. And then on top of that, here's the other smaller one. Still bright, but see how that beam's concentrated? Where with the floodlight, by comparison, ooh, that just lights up everything. So you can bring this under the hood here and really see what you're working on. So that's really nice. So if you did want to hang this from the hood support or something, in fact, the hood prop's probably a great place where you could hang this. If you do that just right, then you can adjust this however you want. So that actually works out really good. Just hang it from there, adjust it how you want. You can really get down in here and work on what you need to work on. So that's pretty good. Okay, so that works out pretty good to hang it from its rafter point there. And adjust what you need to do. And you know, this goes beyond automotive. This would be good for household projects and other things too. And you know, more light the better. So even if you're using this flood lamp, watch what happens when I even have my headlamp on and turn it on as well. Just gives you even more light. So, you know, you never complain about having more light, just not enough. So you can still use both of these at the same time. Okay, so say the power's out. Man, this works really well. You can see how well that illuminates everything that you need to see. So pretty good for a little light here. And I'll show you what this is with the headlamp again. If anything, I'm still really impressed with the headlamp. Here's the headlamp. It does a really good job. So I'm glad I have both of these. Okay, I have this USB-C for my new iPhone, and it actually came with USB-C for this end, but I have this adapter that I also bought for USB-A. But this is nice as well. So what you do is plug it in, and then when you want to use it, you push the button. And I just got my charging symbol that came on, so that's how you know that that's working. This one's similar to that. You're choosing if you want the inverter, so you would push that one, or if you want USB, and you can have them both on or independent. But these are both really nice things to have for power outages or just working off-site, working in the garage, working with the power out. So I'm glad to have both these. So check the video description. I'll show you full reviews on this one and the headlamp and a lot of the other Milwaukee tools. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks, guys.